We're talking now to Ascent Resources. Colin Hutchinson is the Chief Executive of Ascent. Ascent is focused on gas in Slovenia, and the project which Colin's going to explain a bit more about, which I know some people call it the P project because it's a word that many find very difficult to say. Explain a bit more about the P project.
Yeah, thanks Jeremy. Our project in Slovenia is the Petišovci project. It's in northeastern Slovenia, very close to the borders with Croatia and Hungary. Ascent's been involved in the project for about 10 years now. I've been there about 4.5. We drilled 2 wells back in 2011. 2 wells that proved that it's an old field that proved that there was gas below where they'd previously been able to produce from, and gas that could flow at a commercial rate with modern drilling techniques. Since 2011, we've been searching for a way to monetize that gas. We're applying for a permit to build a processing plant in country, and we're still going through that process. But what changed things significantly was around July last year, we signed a gas sales agreement with INA, who are Croatia's largest oil and gas company. They're going to buy our gas untreated at the Croatian-Slovenian border. So over the last 12 months or so, we've recompleted the 2 wells, we've refurbished all the processing equipment, we've fixed up the pipeline and put in the safety equipment that needs to be installed. So we're now all ready to go and sell some gas. We're just waiting for the final consents on Croatian side, and then we're ready to go.
The big question is when you're going to get the first money through from the first gas sale.
Yes, I mean that's the thing. I mean, we're sitting here, so about 5 or 6 weeks ago, I think Ina told me it was 2 weeks to get this final piece of paper. I was in Zagreb earlier this week, good conversations with Ina. And good conversations with the British Embassy. So that piece of paper that allows us to start work is due at any moment. So once that comes through, within about 24 hours we can turn the taps on, and then obviously the revenue starts to flow. And that contract really is a game changer, or once we start to generate revenue, it's a game changer for the company. We go to being profitable, to generating cash, and to make the leap properly from an exploration company to a production company.
Yeah, what is the sort of income you're expecting? Give us some figures of the sort of figures you're looking for.
So the contract, the way it's set up, there's a minimum and a maximum that we can produce to. So initially, for the first 12 months, we've set that at a level which will allow us to make around 300,000 euros a month in revenue. There's scope to increase that both within the terms of the contract, and we've set up the infrastructure in such a way that there's scope to increase that production. So if the wells perform well, we can increase that, and if we're able to add more wells, then we can also increase volumes as well.
And what are you going to do with the money?
The money makes us, we're generating some cash, we can pay the bills, we'll start to put some money in the bank, and it really puts us in a strong position because our balance sheet, about 12 months or so ago, we had about £12 million of debt on the balance sheet. Over the last, since really we signed that gas sales agreement, the share price has performed well. Those loan notes have all been converted, so we're virtually debt free. We'll be generating cash, and I think that puts us in a strong position to grow the asset in Slovenia and to start to look elsewhere, because there are other opportunities in the region where we can use our balance sheet and use our expertise to grow the company.
You're hoping to provide the gas ultimately as well to the Slovenian market. When is that going to happen?
And that's the long-term goal, and that's really what the company has been working towards since I started in 2013. We've been going through a rather torturous permitting process, which it's taken a lot longer than it should have done because of a strange court decision we got, which has really worked in our favour, but we'll not go into that, or because we were able to produce to Croatia instead. There's a new court hearing. We don't have a date set, but based on sort of previous timescales, I'd hope that happened before the end of the year, hopefully sooner rather than later. We are obviously confident that that goes in our favour, and then we're able to construct the processing plant in country. It'll take maybe 12 months to do that. We're not under as much pressure to do that straight away now, because we'll be bringing in revenue and bringing in cash from our production to Croatia. So and there's room to grow within that route. So the IPPC isn't the sort of binary success or fail for the company that it once was, but it'll be nice to get it. And then we have 2 options for the gas, which will then help going forward.
You've got 75% ownership of this project, haven't you? Is that right? We do,
yeah, we've 75%.
Are you happy with that, or is that going to be farmed down any further?
No, we've no intention to get rid of it. 75%. We get 90% of the revenue for the first period, because we're allowed to recover our costs, which have been quite significant because we've been involved since 2000, or the asset's been going since 2002. I think we're now in a position where we can start to generate cash. There's no intention of farming it out at all.
Yeah, okay. Market cap of 63 million. What's the value of the assets that you got?
Market cap is about 50 million sterling, I think.
Okay,
it might be
right.
63 euro. I think the asset is, we've got independently verified P50 resources of 456 BCF in the ground. The company, based on my spreadsheet calculations, I think that must be worth somewhere like 200,000 200 million sterling, sorry. So I think there's room to grow within the asset. We can grow there. Might be room to grow within Slovenia, and then there's room to grow within the region.
What's your investor base looking like? Is it mostly retail, or have you got much institutional?
It's really predominantly retail. We did have Henderson, who became Lombard Odier, who had a significant stake in the past, but they've reduced their position over the last 12 months or so, and now it's predominantly a retail base.
Give us some timetables about what you're expecting to come up in the next few months or so. That could affect the share price.
The big thing we're waiting on is this starting to sell some gas through to Croatia, which we hope will happen very shortly.
Of course, yeah.
Once that happens, then it's a case of looking around for other opportunities to grow the business in Slovenia. Within the asset as well, we'll start to add more wells and add more production. We'll look within Slovenia at other opportunities, and we'll also look into neighbouring jurisdictions.
So far as the Croatia business is concerned, is there any chance of you being able to pump more gas their direction, or is there a finite amount you can put down the pipe at any one time?
There is a finite amount you can put down the pipe, but that's a lot more than what we're going to send them initially. So they'll have spare capacity at their processing facility. There will be capacity on the pipeline, and the way we've constructed the surface equipment, the separating equipment, and the etc., we'd be able to send them a much higher volume of gas once we can get it out of the ground.
Anybody got any questions? Yes.
There's been some chat that there may be more gas deeper in the reservoirs that hasn't been explored yet. Do you think you're working out exploring into the deeper reservoir?
Yeah, I've had that discussion. I think there's enough gas that we already know about to keep us busy for quite some time. Potentially there could be more deeper down, but if we've got enough that we know about already to make us profitable for the next 20 years, so there are other things we could do. There could be stuff deeper, there's definitely stuff shallower, but that deep gas that we're going for is as significant to keep a company like us fully occupied.
Any more questions? Nope, I don't think we have. Okay, unless you've got anything else you want to impart in terms of something for investors, I think that's a great story, and we look to hear more. And good luck with Croatia.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Colin, thanks so much indeed. Colin Hutchinson is the Chief Executive of Ascent.